Let me start with a simple question that income investors are asking right now. If you already own SPYI or QQQI, should you replace them? Because NEOS, the same company behind those extremely popular income ETFs, just launched a brand new lineup designed to produce even higher monthly income. And the numbers are pretty wild. We're talking about ETFs targeting 15 to over 20% annual income, and in some cases, potentially even more, depending on volatility. So today, we're going to break down the new NEOS Boosted ETFs, compare them directly with SPYI and QQQI, and answer the big question investors are asking. Are these new boosted ETFs actually better, or are they just riskier versions of the same strategy? And more importantly, could they actually replace SPYI or QQQI inside an income portfolio? Let's start with the foundation. Before these boosted ETFs existed, the two most popular income funds from NEOS were SPYI and QQQI. SPYI focuses on the S&P 500 and generates monthly income using a covered call strategy on the index while maintaining equity exposure. QQQI does the same thing, but focuses on the NASDAQ 100. The idea behind these ETFs is simple. Instead of relying purely on dividends from stocks, they generate income by selling index options. Those option premiums become the monthly cash distributions investors receive, and the income levels have been pretty impressive. For example, NEOS distribution announcements showed SPYI with a 12% annual distribution rate depending on price. QQQI has been even higher, roughly 14% annual distribution rate depending on market conditions. So right away, these ETFs already deliver income levels that are significantly higher than traditional dividend ETFs. But NEOS recently decided to push that concept further. Instead of simply running a covered call income strategy, they introduced something new, a boosted version of their strategies, and that's where the new ETFs come in. The first one is XSPI. This ETF is essentially the boosted version of the S&P-based strategy used in SPYI, but here's the difference. Instead of running a standard covered call strategy with roughly 100% exposure to the S&P 500, the boosted strategy increases exposure to around 150% of the underlying portfolio using option structures. In simple terms, the ETF is taking the same strategy but turning up the intensity. That additional exposure allows the fund to generate more option premiums, which means potentially higher income. And that's exactly why the income target is higher. According to NEOS, XSPI is designed to support annualized distributions of roughly 15 to 18% after fees, paid monthly. So if SPYI historically yields around 12%, the boosted version aims to increase that income potential by several percentage points. But the story gets even more interesting when we look at the NASDAQ version. The second boosted ETF is XQQQI. This one mirrors the strategy used in QQQI, but again applies that boosted exposure structure. Just like XSPI, the fund aims to create approximately 150% notional exposure to the underlying strategy, again using options rather than traditional borrowing. Because the NASDAQ 100 tends to be more volatile than the S&P 500, option premiums are typically higher. And that's why the income targets are also higher. According to the fund's strategy disclosure, XQQQI aims to support annualized distributions between 19% and 23% after expenses. That's a massive jump compared to the roughly 14% distribution rate associated with QQQI. So if you compare the base ETFs versus the boosted ones, the difference looks something like this. SPYI historically around 12% income, XSPI targeting 15 to 18%, QQQI historically around 14% income, XQQQI targeting 19 to 23%. That's a very noticeable jump in yield. But of course, the story doesn't stop there, because NEOS also launched a third boosted ETF that pushes the concept even further. That fund is XBCI. Instead of tracking the S&P 500 or NASDAQ 100, This ETF focuses on Bitcoin exposure, combined with an options-based income strategy. Bitcoin options are extremely volatile compared to equity index options, and that volatility can generate enormous option premiums. Because of that variability, NEOS hasn't provided a specific long-term distribution target for XBCI like it has for the other funds, but early market observations suggest that income levels could be extremely high when crypto volatility spikes. In some early distributions, payouts around $1.60 per share monthly were observed, depending on market conditions. That would translate into extremely high annualized income levels, but those numbers are highly variable because Bitcoin volatility changes constantly. So this ETF is clearly designed for investors who want very aggressive income exposure. Now, when you step back and compare all 5 ETFs, SPYI, QQQI, XSPI, XQQQI, and XBCI, you start to see how NEOS has structured their lineup. The original funds serve as the core income strategies. They aim for strong double-digit yields with relatively moderate volatility. The boosted funds are essentially amplified versions of those strategies, but the same leverage that increases income can also amplify losses. That means they can capture more upside in strong markets, but they can also experience larger drawdowns during market declines. So the real question becomes this: should these boosted ETFs replace SPYI or QQQI? For most investors, the answer is probably no, not because they're bad ETFs, but because they serve a slightly different purpose. SPYI and QQQI are designed to be relatively stable income generators. They still fluctuate with the market, but the volatility tends to be manageable for income-focused portfolios. The boosted ETFs are more aggressive. They're designed for investors who want higher income potential and are comfortable with larger price swings. That means instead of replacing SPYI or QQQI, many investors may actually use the boosted ETFs as satellite positions inside a portfolio. For example, someone might build an income portfolio like this: a core allocation to SPYI for stable S&P-based income, a core allocation to QQQI for tech exposure and higher income potential, then smaller allocations to XSPI or XQQQI to boost overall yield, and maybe even a small allocation to XBCI for exposure to crypto-based income strategies. That kind of layered structure allows investors to increase their overall income without relying entirely on the more aggressive funds. And that's probably the smartest way to think about these ETFs. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into high-income ETFs, make sure you like the video and subscribe to Money Stick Unfiltered. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.